foreign companies to start working there. How will they start working there if the demand for things are very low? It wasn't survive. My foreign companies hasn't survived.
What if they give loan from a company?
How will they employ, how will they employ people when the demand in the system and whatever they will be producing other stuff?
What if they give loan to the government?
All of that are loan in a company.
But if they are given loan, that means they will buy more raw materials, then they need more workers.
No, but you cannot get a loan when you are not so sure that you can pay. Which company will take a loan knowing the system will just do we need to increase demand or do we need to increase demand? No. We want to increase demand and that will reduce unemployment. Look here, this demand, this typical unemployment is caused by economic downtime, demand deficient, insufficient demand for goods. Remaining value, that's the cause. So we need to deal with demand. So we have to have demand policies, demand pushing policies, policies that can increase demand. One is to reduce taxes. That will be that. If I can reduce taxes and not that will increase demand. Yes,
we will reduce the price of goods.
The second one is government can increase spending. Which is very tricky, and that's where the economists need to make a balance. Okay? So look here. One policy is reducing taxes so that people have more money. If you are reducing taxes, what does it mean to have more? You multiply everything down. How government finds money is through taxes. Now the politics will reduce taxes. They will come again. The other option is to deal with that same unemployment problem is increase spending. Policy in Abu Yakati is reducing spending, but we also want to deal with unemployment just legal government increase expenditure. So increasing expenditure is because now it's like you start new projects. Start new projects, construct roads, bridges, whatever, aboma. That will employ more people. Okay? And the idea is not just to employ more people. The idea is that money will go with these new people who are being employed, who have money which will push demand. Better? Federal government was directly dealing with demand by reducing taxes to what is the number one of those who are waiting. Now you are also expanding using expenditure by starting new projects so that more people can get employed and be paid. So when these people are being paid, these people are being employed and paid, they will want to go and buy things. So that's government policy. which is aimed at reducing this unemployment. You can see there, if your economist who is recommending this, you have to be very careful, because you are going to bring an imbalance in government fiscal, what we call government fiscus. Because policy is revenue, and yet you are bringing concurrently a policy which increases expenditure. But that's theoretically, that's how you will handle that cyclical unemployment. If you are only to deal with, can you please wait? No, I'm saying no. Close the door and go. Okay, so there are those two things that you can do Macroeconomics instruments. So, one, to deal with this, you have taxes, and then you have expenditure. You increase expenditure, you reduce tax. Reduce your tax, increase your expenditure. Increase expenditure means remember going to Vienna, growing so many, that's government who hey, however you call me, but the idea is to make sure you eliminate this cyclical unemployment. So I don't realize that the manera to create 1 million jobs. It means now they have a problem, because they will have no money, and yet above our minimum expense.
What if we increase my tax, then increase my spending?
Then you will be looking at the residual effect policy. And what percentages are you talking about? Tax minister increased by what rate, and the expenditure minister increased by what rate, and what will be the balance? What will be the net?
I think if we can increase tax, that means we will have more money so that we can start new projects.
But when you increase tax, what you will do is that you will reduce demand. Okay? If you increase tax, you will make this problem worse. You will make this problem worse.
If you can employ more people, man, we'll be giving money.
You will make the problem less. This problem will be higher. And it is very good. It depends how much you can create. Remember, unfamiliar employment might actually be more. You may have an employment of 30%, which is bad. 30% of people are unemployed, meaning 70% are employed. So when you're increasing tax, you are increasing for 70%. So it's very so huge. The impact on the demand. Okay. Now, they are not the only things that you can do. Government can also use money. Monetary policy instruments. So what can it do? What are the instruments on money? Money is capital, right? Sometimes money the capital can have a business money will be better, right? Yes? And now to borrow money will cost you what? Interest. Okay? can government do that?
To give the highlight type information so that you can be interested in what it is to be interested. Like to give like highlight type information to the individuals just the interest.
What can government do in terms of monetary policy? Who handles the monetary policy of government? No, it's the same bank. Central bank. Protocol that commercial institutions, that monetary institutions. Central bank is very much handle monetary policies on behalf of the government. On behalf of the government, the central bank does that. Okay? So they can control the money supply in the system. So monetary policy there, using interest, what government can do is that they can reduce interest rates. Why? So that more people, more companies can borrow at cheap rates and start projects. Start businesses. Okay? So they can employ more people and create more demand. So, remember, increasing government expenditure was also because we wanted government to start more projects. Here, you want private sector to start more projects. Yeah, reduce interest rates. Okay? So this is a fiscal instrument. Interest rate is a fiscal tool. Monetary. Interest rate is a monetary tool. Monetary instrument. Okay? So it depends on the mixture you want to get. So the economists have to look at both this side and that side and decide on which tools to use. And you see the dilemma if you go ahead and start thinking about this in real life. It means one of the things that will help you reduce interest is for government to stop borrowing, to reduce borrowing. Remember, when we say fiscal policy, is how government raise funds and how government uses funds. This is what we call fiscal policy. Now, on how government raises funds, we have taxes, we have levies, borrow, and so on and so on. That's how government, you have grants, loans, grants from other countries. Now, how does use hospitals, infrastructure, and so on and so on. Now, for interest rates to fall, government must minimize borrowing. So you can see that the monetary policy for addressing unemployment is reduce the rate, the interest rate, so companies can borrow easily and cheaply. For you to do that, you also need to make sure that the government borrows less. So if government borrows less, can you imagine? Government borrows less, it means its source of funds is lower. And then at the same time you have said they should reduce taxes, it means this one is lower again. Increase expenditure, it means this one becomes too big. So usually there is a mixture that the economists have to sit down using multiplier analysis, see how to control the right effect of this action. How do you handle? So you need to know the relationship between various what we call multipliers or coefficients. Meaning, if you increase taxes, what's the effect on aggregate demand? So you need to have the matrix of equations that can inform you of the right impact of each policy. And then you need to reshuffle and see what combinations and how much. How much does government borrowing affect interest rates? You need to know the relationship. The equation in this relationship has to be there. And how much does borrowing interest rates relate to private sector credit and growth? So, there are more figures than what we are saying here that can allow you to do a policy prescription, which is mandatory. But as you all know, government has a lot of priority. They don't just handle unemployment. There are so many things that they have to worry about. As you know, later on we'll be talking about inflation and things like that. Those things also rely on this, but in the opposite direction. When you are handling these policy instruments, what government can do, what you can do for unemployment is actually the opposite that you have to do for inflation. Okay? So as somebody who is working at the central bank or at treasury, you have to know they work in opposite direction. Controlling unemployment can actually create inflation. And controlling inflation can create unemployment. So the government has to see which is the bigger issue in the economy and sometimes choose the policy mix which is moderate. Or you can choose to control one item for 2 years, once stabilized, you start controlling the other. Fortunately, there is a certain level of inflation which is good. So far, is there any question before I proceed? So, in general, we talk about demand side and supply side policy. We can talk about demand side and supply side policy. Just to improve the labor market. So the demand side is what we have been discussing. Basically stimulating the market, creating new jobs. So government increases expenditure to create new jobs. And usually these involve construction, for example, construction projects that are labor intensive. Increase expenditure just to stimulate the market. So you do extra spending on new roads, housing, infrastructure projects, and things like that. And all that may lead to, a positive multiplier effect. You can also improve on government subsidies. Okay? Yeah. Basically handing out money. You can do subsidies for businesses, take on, for example, long-term employment of people. So you can have things like youth contracts. You can make contracts with companies and give them incentives so that they can employ people. Basically, to target young population, for example. Lower taxes. What about this other employment that we talked about? Just to revisit. Some of the structural employment was because of geographical rigidity. Remember, we said some of the structural employment is putting on concerned and then children will not. Okay? That can be something that government can do something about. So you can try to reduce this geographical immobility. So sometimes this is due to mwina muntu awukala kusanjeko kitu ni blanda. The reason akuletera kuli mwina blanda ya nyumba zidura. Somebody cannot afford housing prices are too prohibitive. That government can do something about. Because like social ties, regional differences, the cost of living, the government can do something about. We know it's difficult sometimes for people to change their location just to get a job. So those are some of there are some things government can do something about, others are difficult to do something about. The government can also change certain things through legislation. For example, they can change the working age, minimum age. Remember, for you to register yourself as an employee, you must be in the workforce. Workforce is defined by people who are willing and able to work. Okay, so some people cannot work because the law doesn't allow them. So a 12-year-old girl cannot work even if she wants. She can't because the law doesn't allow. So you can manipulate the unemployment figures by manipulating this, the workforce, but limiting or extending the age, and these are just theoretical ways of looking at these things. So the government might say people should continue to do training. After secondary school, they should do more training to acquire skills, and by law, nobody can finish doing this before they are 20. So it means now when they do that, they have changed from 18 to 20. They will artificially, they can improve their unemployment figures, official figures. That's a very stupid way of dealing with a problem like this, but people are always funny in terms of suggesting things that we can do. Now, what is very important is that policies have to work together. Whatever policies you want to adopt, you have to make sure they work together. Because, for example, if you say our policy is to reduce taxes, so we can improve on the quantitative mandate. If you reduce taxes, you should know that for you to collect the reduced revenue as a government, you should not resort to borrowing. You have reduced taxes. It means your revenue is and then if that is the case, and then the government goes and starts borrowing a lot of money to make sure they cover the shortfall in many items of taxes. Once they go out and borrowing a lot of money, that will push interest up. And when they are pushed interest up, the private sector will not be able to borrow because now money has become expensive. So that may actually, instead of improving on unemployment, it will actually start having this initiative that they took by reducing taxes. You were reducing taxes with a view that you would stimulate demand for goods and services. And yet, from the financial market. And that is coming. And that might actually work against interest. Okay? So if interest rates have become unbearable, it means now the private sector cannot even create jobs. They cannot borrow. And we all know here, I hope you know as well as just as I do, that government people of interest rates, unlike business community. A government, they don't care. They borrow at any rate. And they are very attractive to the private sector. They stop thinking about how to make money. Most of the bank managers they have become dark. They don't want to think about how to raise money. Because there's a ready and secure customer available. And what is government? Who are the major data? I mean, I have a single number of how I'm banking with government. And they don't care about women. Okay, so, you go about Nandarama, and so this back to them, even at very exorbitant interest rates. Now, like government is going to consider unemployment by reducing taxes, and then combine our guidance and the it means the interest rates will be too high. Now, when the interest rates are too high, the business community will not be able to borrow and start new projects. And therefore, you are hitting that same unemployment that you wanted, you are increasing it. So you need to, the policies need to be talking to each other. The fiscal policies and monetary policies have to be talking to each other. They must be complementing each other. And in Maran, the major problem is sometimes fiscal policies are not talking to monetary policies. They know what and yet they are supposed to be moving together.
no longer an economist.
My obvious reason, our country, they are political government. Okay? So in summary, for example, policies for reducing unemployment. One is boosting human capital. Just in summary, boosting human capital. Policies for reducing unemployment. Boost human capital. That is education and training. When we say human capital, we talk about education and training. Boost human capital, meaning education and training. So you have to have a long run strategy to make the workforce more employable.
Education and training.
Human capital means education and training. That's how people get human capital. Training, education, training, and skills. That's what we mean by human capital. So you need to have a long run strategy to make the workforce more employable and to raise their level of labor productivity. Number two, so that one deals with structure, right? Then number two is lower employment taxes. Employment taxes. Taxes are very much cheaper. Lower taxes to increase labor demand. Okay? Reduce taxes. And then number three, we had to stimulate demand from both the public and private.
D for stimulate.
Stimulate demand.
To stimulate
Public and private.
demand from both the public and private sector. So, what are we saying? Increase expenditure, have new projects on the government side. On the private sector side, once you reduce interest rates, they will create more projects and employ more people. Okay? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Well, these other things you can talk about things such as exports. I think somebody talked about exports. Exports competitiveness is a good thing, so that you can inject demand into central flow of income. Basically, we are talking of inflow, export revenue into the system. To stimulate demand, from export proceeds. So you can try to improve export competitiveness. And export competitiveness is not easy at all. To improve export competitiveness, it's about lowering cost of production and then about quality. So even these human capital issues we talked about, improving skills because if you improve those skills, they will probably produce better quality products than if you don't retrain. So you have to retrain people to be more productive, which was the issue number one. Yeah. So any questions?
What if we export more things, more products? That means the companies or business organizations need to produce more goods. In that sense, they will need to employ more workers so that they can help in producing more products.
Yeah, but that depends on demand, right? How can they just export more goods? One, they have to improve on their workforce. So human capital development needs to be done. They also need to capital formation in terms of acquisition of new technologies and the like. They have to be good to lower the cost of production. So issues of access to finance for those companies, you have to consider that. How much are they borrowing at the market at what rate? One. So improving on the export is not just the angle look at them they do it. It's not possible. You have to look at all these factors. Right? So unemployment is something that you can handle, given a proper incentive by the politicians. Thank you.
That's